All right, welcome everybody. Welcome, John. I'm going to let you just take it away. We're going to do some movement for 21 minutes, and then we're going to leave some time for some. All right, welcome Q&A. Everybody. Welcome, John.
I'm still here. Can you hear me, or is there a delay?
Oh, there must have been a delay. Sorry about that, John. You here?
Nope,
You hear
you're
me?
good.
Okay.
Are we good?
You're good. Take it away.
Okay. So, hey everyone, John Sinclair here, co-founder of Seven Movements, and today we're going to go through 21 minutes. It's 3 7-minute doses, micro doses of some movement to make you feel pain-free. So the first thing we're going to focus on is we're going to go to the cervical spine, so the head and the neck. Then we're going to work on your thoracic spine, and then we're going to finish with a little bit of work with your hips. So first thing I'd like you to do today is just let's get some motion in the neck and see what that feels like. And we're going to check to see how that feels going up and down. Okay, and then check to see how it feels going side to side. And let's try tilting left to right, like you're pouring water out of your ear. I feel pretty clunky right now, so I'm excited to do this dose with you for the cervical spine. Okay, so that's us testing our neck motion. Let's go to strategy number 1. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to rub the back of your head and the back of your neck. So you want to create a little bit of friction, add some pressure there. You're going to get right where your base of your neck meets the base of your head. We're going to go across those bones. So this is a massive anchor point for the connective tissue of the extensors of the neck, as well as the big trapezius muscles. We're going to get on those anchor points. Then I want you to go just up a little bit higher up on the head. Just get above that ridge. There you go. Okay, so now that we've scrubbed the backside, let's scrub right where your jaw traces into the head. So you're going to take your thumbs like this, like you're making some antlers here. With your thumbs, you're going to scrub the inside ridge of the jaw. So get on that backside there. We're going to go up and down on it. So all the muscles on the side of the neck interact with the jaw. Then we're going to go to where this point is right behind your ear. Put your thumb on that. Both thumbs going across it. So we're crossing the fibers of those tendons. Good. And then what we're going to go to next is we're going to go to the collarbone. So the collarbone, all these muscles in the neck attach and go underneath the collarbone. So we're going to scrub on top of that collarbone. So you're giving yourself a little dusting. Dust the shelf of the collarbone by using some friction. Okay, and we're going to go to the other side. Again, use some pressure to create friction and heat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go where the collarbone meets the sternum. We're going to go right on where that collarbone ends. Get your one finger on there. You can scrub across that. You can get the other one. Scrub across there. We can do 2 at the same time. You'll feel the collarbone ends and there's this little divot. You get right into that divot and scrub. Okay, and then take your knuckles and scrape up and down on your sternum. Right across that breastplate they call the sternum. Okay, let's rub and scrub the point of the shoulder, where that little knob is right at the very edge of the point. Get that one going, because that's an anchor point for the trapezius muscles also. It's left one. Let's try the right one. All right, so let's do some motion of the neck now. See if that improved it. So your head's gonna go up and back, up and down. Oh, that's so much better. That one's night and day for me. Okay, rotate now. Again, that one feels better. I don't feel quite so compressed. Okay, and then tilt side to side. Well, this one's major better. The last one kind of hurt a little bit as I was moving. It was so stiff and rigid. Tilting the head side to side. Okay, now we're gonna do some exercise for the eyeballs. Okay, so you're gonna have a staggered stance. So let's put one foot further forward than the other. We're gonna turn your head, let your eyes go with your head. Eyes go with your head. If you want to make it more challenging, your palms can be out to the side or palms turned up. It's going to be a little bit more challenging, or we narrow our stance, which means I bring my feet a little closer together. But let those eyes track with your head. Okay, now we're going to go back to front. So your eyes go with your head on the way up, then on the way down. So now we're challenging not only your balance, we're challenging the vestibular system, which controls your balance. Okay, stagger our stance. With the other foot forward, hands out to the side. Rotate your head side to side. Let your eyes track with the head. So they're rotating at the same speed and tempo your head is. Okay, and then we're going to go up and down. Eyes track with the same speed of the head. Okay, and then the next one is a little trickier because we're going to take your thumbs, they're going to be pointed down this time. We're going to tilt your head side to side. Okay? See if you're going to let your eyes move laterally, like windshield wipers, to your left, then to your right. With that same side tilt, moving with. Okay, we do the same side the other way. Arms up, thumbs pointed down, tilt to the side. Boom, 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 boom. Good work. All right. So now we've done some exercise for the neck. We're going to go into the thoracic spine. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to incorporate a little bit of motion with the arms. As you step forward, we're going to reach forward. So what we're looking for is we're seeing the shoulder blades are going to round and come back. Boom. Here. So you're going to step forward, come back, elbows are going to come up. Boom. Away we go. So we're asking the shoulder blades to glide along the ribs, the spine to go into flexion at the upper back, and then extension. Good. Let's do the same thing with the other leg going forward. So we call these lunges with same directional reaches. And we're doing it at shoulder height to challenge the muscles in the upper back and neck. There you go. Okay, so now we did forward reaches. We're now going to try and see how the body goes when we rotate. So we're looking at rotation. We call this when the hands move with the feet. We're going to call this type 2 rotation. That means the spine, the neck, the head, the thoracic spine are moving together. Nice. One more time. Good job. So that's what we call type 2 rotation. Now we're going to go into a side flexion, and then we'll finish with a combination of rotation and side flexion. So the first one's going to be step forward. You're going to take your opposite side arm, and we're going to create like a C motion. You'll see a bit of a kind of like a little C motion here. And we're going to do the same side. It'll be less complicated if we just try one side at a time for this motion. So step, reach your arms over your ears. There you go. Really slow, rhythmical. Trying to get some nice motion into that spine. Let the body know that everything feels good when we move it together, as opposed to in singular parts. Okay, let's try the other side. So I'm stepping with my opposite foot. The opposite arm is coming overhead. We're going to try to stay as though I'm in a door frame. So I'm trying to move right inside that door frame, not rotating out of it yet. We're going to get to that one here in a second. Let's try to stay purely moving sideways with the spine. Really good. Okay, then what we'll do is we're going to do a combination of that one. So we're going to step forward with one leg. This hand's going to come across the middle of your body like you're holding a bowl of soup. The opposite arm is going to do what you just did. So we have what we call type 2, or type 1 rotation of the thoracic spine. So this is a combination of side flexion and opposite side rotation for the spine. Awesome. We're going to go to the other side now. There you go. Turn your palm underneath. Reach like you're holding a bowl of soup in your hand. You don't want to spill it. Two more. Really good. Okay, now we're going to do just a figure 8 pattern. We're going to do a figure 8, kind of like a little Tai Chi pattern, where I step back and swoop that energy. So as I do it, let's think about starting to rotate from the spine. Let that spine get into that motion. Little figure 8 of the elbows. That's one side. Let's go to the other side. Now that you have that one-sided pattern here, we're going to alternate. So I'm going to go left, come home, right, come home, left, come home. Shift your weight into your foot. Head goes over your foot. Head always stays over your foot. Good. Two more. Good job. And now let's just focus on doing a little bit of spiral motion here. So I want you to think of, if I'm looking straight up and down, my body's going to move more like I'm trying to create like this little circle in the spine. So I'm just going to kind of chug my hands down and create this little coiling spiral pattern happening in the spine here. Like to think of it as kind of like little mini uppercuts that I have with my hands. I'm driving my shoulders down and up, down and up, down. There you go. Really good. Now, you did it in one direction. See if you can do it in the opposite direction. Little coil, but in the opposite direction. Fantastic. All right, so slow that down and work on creating some extensibility in all those ranges now. So we did a little bit of a rub and scrub or circulation for the first 7 minutes. Then we did some motion of the thoracic spine. Now we're going to do some static holds here. So we're going to take your arms. Let's go with a really long stance here. Take your arms, reach them up to the sky. I want you to think about elevating from the rib cage, driving those fingernails all the way into the clouds above you. Extend, 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 extend from all points of the body, and we're going to hold. Take some deep, relaxing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Really expand the rib cage, like feel like your ribs are opening way, way up as you hold that position. Bring your hands down, feet together, lengthen the other leg. Same drill. Reach up to the sky, get as long as you possibly can. Reaching from the fingertips, extending from the toes, expand the ribs, expand the abdominal wall. Bring your feet back together. Get long, and we're going to open up your back foot. So you got 1 foot pointing forward, 1 foot out to the side. We're going to rotate your torso. Arms get long from here into warrior. And we're just going to stay long and hold that position. Turn your head left to right. Side. Hold. Hold the position, but I want you moving your head today. Connect with what we did earlier. Good. Switch sides. Long stance, heel to heel. Arms up. Turn that head. Think about getting as long as you can through the head. Really span out those arms. Bring it together. Good, really wide stance now. We're gonna let your hands go across your shoulders. I just need you to curl over at the spine. Hold that position. Then you're gonna unwind, which means I'm going to start at the lower back and uncurl my way all the way up. So I'm looking up at the ceiling. Hold there. And then slowly down again. Go at your own speed and distance that you feel like you can travel at. This is your bubble, not Johnny's bubble. One more time. Unravel yourself. Extend. And come back. Good. Wiggle your feet back together. Stagger your stance. You're going to take one arm, cross your midline. Take the other arm like you're throwing it underneath it. So you grab onto that arm. And then what we're going to do is you're just going to slowly rotate. When you get to your end range of motion here, we're just going to hold. Okay, and then stagger your stance the other way. Hook that arm underneath, do a couple rotations first, just so you're ready. You're going to ready the nervous system for where we're going to head to. And then we're going to rotate. We're going to get there to your end range, and you're going to hold that. Good. Wiggle your arms out of it. One more to go. So we're going to stagger your stance. We're going to take your hips and just push it to the side. Then take that same side arm and reach it to the ceiling. So you find where you feel comfortable moving your hips to the side first. Then when you're comfortable there, keep your belly button pointed straight forward and reach that one to the sky. And we just hold there. Slowly come out of it. Repeat. Come out of it. And one more time. Good. Let's do the other side. Subtle stagger. Hip to the side. Reach to the sky. Out of it. Out of it. Last one. And finish. So just shake your hands out. March your feet a little bit. Stamp them on the ground. Wake them up. And there you go. We just did 3 different doses with some different outcomes in them, but all kind of targeted today towards the cervical spine, the torso, and the thoracic spine. I hope you feel really good. I know I feel like I'm ready to take on the rest of my day. I won't be stuck at a computer, thank goodness, but we're going to have a good rest of your day. So this is the section where we now open it up to some questions and answers. Hopefully you have a question for me, and then I'll be able to answer any questions that you might have and direct you on where you need to go with your health and wellness.
Awesome. Good job, John.
Thanks, buddy.
So we got some questions coming in from the YouTube chat. If you're on Zoom, I see Linda's there. If you have any questions, Linda, feel free to type it in the Zoom chat. So John, the first question that came in was, I'm suffering from chronic back pain. What do you recommend for being able to participate in something like this?
So our challenge is pain is really non-specific. We try to specify exactly, here's our region, and it's not necessarily specific to a particular region, but your brain is telling your body that there's threat in this area. So mechanically, what can happen is oftentimes we think, oh, I've got low back pain. There's something with my lower back that's a problem. Well, that's where your pain is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the cause or the contributor of why you have back pain is there. So it could be a number of things. It could be that you have one hip joint that is maybe a little bit stuck, or your pelvis is not in alignment. And as such, that lumbopelvic hip complex is not symmetrical. And then we got more pressure on one side of your lower back. Could be at your sacroiliac joint. It could be in your lumbar joints. It could be in your lumbosacral joints. It could be in the hip joint itself. But your brain sends a signal to that region and says, hey, I don't like this. There's threat here. I don't want you to move, or I don't want you to try anything too challenging until you address this particular mechanical problem. Sometimes the problems can be not only just mechanical, but it can be psychological and it can be social. Maybe you've hurt your back in the past and your brain is telling you that I need to slow some things down and I need to help de-stress the system. Oftentimes our mechanical system will tell us, hey, we gotta switch what we're doing here. I need to slow this organism down. I'm going to elicit a pain response. And he or she listened the last time I had back pain. Boom, we got some back pain. It can also be social. So not being in presence of your friends or your family or feeling a little bit isolated can also elicit pain. So what we have to do is we have to start with, well, what would be the most logical thing to do? And that would be, well, let's get some motion happening. Let's do a little bit of movement. So what I like to do is pretty much with all my clients that have back pain, myself included, I'm a recovering back pain sufferer, is I want to get motion in the lumbo-pelvic hip complex. So lumbo meaning lumbar spine. So if you look beneath my belly all the way in here, my lumbar spine is about from there to there. And then I need to get motion in this region. So where does the lumbar spine move? It moves into flexion and extension. It moves into rotation, although not too much rotation, but does rotate. And it also moves side to side. And it does that with the rest of the spine. So as you noticed today, we did all our motions through 3 planes of motion. We went forwards and backwards. We went side to side, and we went right rotation and left rotation. And so our goal is always to try to create some space at those joints. Sometimes when we're in pain, they don't want to move very well. So what we have to do is we have to shrink our bubble, shrink our motion, and just start a little bit at a time. Just give it a little bit of a time, okay? I also staggered your stance today. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but you must have because you were doing it with me. But I staggered the stance to take some pressure off of the lumbar spine. When I stagger the stance, what happens is the hip, it decouples, which means one side of the hip is moving a little bit further forward while the other one's moving backwards. And that's good because it spreads that force through the pelvic ring and gives me a little bit more space at the lumbar joints. So if I'm in a staggered stance and I move forwards, backwards, you can notice that when I do this, and if you try it with me, you'll feel like I've got more force going through my left leg than I do with my right leg because most of my weight is distributed onto my front leg. So that ground reaction force is coming through that one side at a time. Then when I switch the other side, now that force is going more to the right side. It's taking some of that stress away from the lumbar spine. As if I just went here, that force is going up faster and into the flexors and extensors of the spine. So then what we want to do is after I've done forwards, backwards, I want to go side to side. Okay, so I staggered my stance again, and I want to take that motion side to side. And then I want to take it into some rotation. So the cool part about low back pain is that it's protecting. Pain is your body's way of protecting the connective tissues and joints of the body. So one of the ways that we can do that is to give it variable motion, unloaded. We don't need to add any resistance to it. We just give it some variable motion so that the body feels like, okay, that feels a little bit better. I contributed some motion to these particular joints in a variety of different ways that allows me to offload some of the repetitive stress and or just maybe some of the stickiness around the joints. So that's the approach that I take to moving people through pain. Just start with a very small bubble in 3 dimensions and with multiple directions, and then expand it out. And as we do that, the threat will start to, instead of it being a 9 out of 10 in volume of threat, it might go down to a 6 out of 10. And then we apply those same strategies frequently throughout the hour to start turning that dial down even more. Because the more I move, the less the brain thinks I'm under threat, provided we're not putting you in an environment that immediately causes more threat. So that's the approach.
Awesome. Another interesting question here, John, is someone saying they are planning to plan their daily walk around this session. Mm-hmm. Do you recommend they do their walk before or after the session?
It'll be a fun thing to test out. More often than not, we're gonna make you feel a lot better. So you'll feel like, wow, I've got a lot of blood flowing through the body. I got a lot of fluids have moved through the body from my walk. That might make my emotions feel better while I'm doing it. Then what's kind of cool, or what's kind of cool is we'll get you feeling moving and all those joints feeling like they move, and then you might find that your walk feels more efficient. So I don't really think that there's one way to do it. Generally, I usually start with circulation first. So going for a walk is a great plan. Is you go for a walk and come back, and then now we're doing some of these strategies. I think you're going to feel really awesome, because for me, the first order of everything is improve circulation first, right? And then if you start to feel better, you're going to want to move more. So I'd be surprised if you go for your walk, you do this, and you're like, you know what, I kind of feel like going for a little bit more of a walk, right? And so you might end up bookending this session with maybe a couple 20-minute walks. And what do you got? You got an hour of activity that was really purposeful and really beneficial for your long-term health.
Awesome. Awesome. That is all the questions for today there, John. So nice work. Thanks for coming, Linda. Thank you, Linda. Coming to the Zoom, Linda, and thanks to everyone who joined us on YouTube today. Just a reminder that there's a couple of ways to continue your movement snacking journey in between these sessions. One is you can go to our website and get an all-access pass to our library, which is all of our on-demand snacks that you can access and have fun with throughout your day. Or if you really like these live sessions, we run one almost every day of the week right now. You can check the schedule on 7movements.com, but you can get a membership and you'll get that all access pass plus access to all of these sessions. So if you want to keep movement snacking with us, you can grab one of those two things, or you can just come join us here on Monday, where it's always free. We'll be broadcasting to YouTube as well as Zoom. So be sure to register there.